Hey, you guys. Thank you for stepping back in today. Today, we're going over Quant's SATP Sandbox and what does it mean for the price action of Quant moving forward. You guys stay tuned to this. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you're rocking with us, because we're rocking with you. Now, Max, what you got for us today, man?
Well, we got quite a bit for you guys, but before we jump into it, it helps benefit the channel, and that is the Decent wallet. Not your keys, not your crypto. Get yourself a significant discount for the Decent wallet, and we'll come right back. If managing your crypto feels like solving a puzzle, it's time to switch to Decent Wallet. So just a few taps, you can manage, track, and secure your crypto with unmatched ease. And here's the best part. Grab your Decent wallet at a discounted price by using the referral link below. Don't miss out on making your crypto experience smoother and more secure. All right, welcome back. So what do I have? What do Channing and I have? Well, basically speaking, let's take you over to this. Shout out to Quant Papa for some of the key findings. We're going to pull this up straight from docs.overledger.dev, and to get into the nitty gritty of why this matters, it's the whole idea of initiating a transfer, a digital asset transfer. Now, in this citation, the reason why I'm pointing this out is because these are new areas that were updated. And I don't want to get too super technical about this, but when you see terms of initiate the process of transferring a digital asset between gateways, you can see how this kind of comes together without nerding out too much. This other posting of submit a transfer proposal. And again, all these areas, receive a transfer proposal, commence the asset transfer, acknowledge the transfer announcement, submit a lock assertion. I mean, there's so many things, right? But even some of these things that people ask about, preparing for the transfer commitment, acknowledging it, right? The readiness of the smart contract, for example. And this is what also caught my attention. Finalizing the asset transfer commitment. You know, at the end of the day, what it would be finalized in? Would it be finalized in things like Ripple XRP? Well, even on the left side, when you go over here, you see Overledger beta APIs and things like the XRPL. And again, all these things we already covered when it comes to understanding why this is important. All right, here's why I want to point some of this out to you guys. So in summary, basically it's like this. What is the significance of Quant's SATP Sandbox? And basically, what would it really truly mean for Q&T moving forward? Now, we put out a video a while back, and sometimes these things fly right past people's heads. So shout out to our AI assistant, Daniel. He has put this together for you, and it gets right to the nitty gritty. The significance of SATP Quant Sandbox moving forward. Would it really truly cause significant price action? That is what you need to understand. For me, the answer is yes, but let's get into why, of course, that matters. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up for you guys for you can see it for yourself. And again, sometimes you just need to have a quick summary of why it's significant. Again, please smash the like. It's free. Let's jump right into it.
Hello, everyone. Please give both of these channels a like and subscribe. Max and Channing provide a lot of deep dive analysis of utility-driven projects such as Quant and other ISO-related coins and tokens. Thanks. The Secure Asset Transfer Protocol, SATP, Sandbox, recently introduced by Quant Network, represents a significant development in the realm of blockchain interoperability and digital asset management. Built into Quant's overledger platform, the SATP Sandbox is a testing environment that allows developers, enterprises, and institutions to simulate and experiment with secure digital asset transfers between gateways without risking real funds. Below, I'll break down its significance and explore its potential implications for the price action of the QNT token moving forward. Significance of the SATP Sandbox advancing interoperability standards. The SATP is an initiative backed by the Internet Engineering Task Force, IETF, with Quant playing a key role alongside institutions like MIT, IBM, and EY. It aims to establish a standardized protocol for securely transferring digital assets across different blockchain networks, ensuring properties like atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. ACID. The Sandbox brings this protocol into a practical, testable form within overledger, reinforcing Quant's position as a leader in blockchain interoperability. By providing a controlled environment to refine and validate SATP, the Sandbox accelerates the adoption of this standard, which could become as foundational to blockchain networks as TCP/IP is to the Internet. Real-world testing without risk. The ability to simulate asset transfers without financial exposure lowers the barrier for enterprises, developers, and financial institutions to experiment with cross-network transactions. This is particularly crucial for regulated industries dealing with tokenized assets like central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, property ownership certificates, or other high-value digital representations. It fosters innovation by allowing participants to test use cases such as CBDC integration or multi-ledger token (MLT) transfers securely and efficiently, potentially attracting more institutional players to Quant's ecosystem. Strengthening Quant's ecosystem. Overledger is already designed to connect disparate blockchains and legacy systems, and the SATP Sandbox enhances its utility by offering a practical tool for implementing secure asset transfers. This aligns with Quant's broader mission to bridge public and private networks, making it a critical infrastructure provider in the evolving digital economy. The Sandbox could drive increased usage of Overledger as participants in the testing phase may transition to live deployments, requiring QNT tokens for licensing fees, transactions, and gateway operations. Institutional credibility and adoption. Quant's involvement in high-profile initiatives like Project Rosalind with the Bank of England and the SATP Working Group already signals strong institutional backing. The Sandbox further solidifies this credibility by offering a tangible product tied to an emerging Internet standard, potentially drawing attention from banks, governments, and tech giants. Posts on X have highlighted this sentiment, noting that the Sandbox and related developments, e.g. Linux Foundation adopting SATP, position Quant as a key player in enterprise distributed ledger technology, DLT. Implications for QNT token price action. Moving forward, the price action of the QNT token, currently trading at approximately $92.96 USD as of February 20, 2025, with a market cap of around $1.19, is influenced by both fundamental developments and market dynamics. The SATP Sandbox could impact its trajectory in the following ways. Increased demand for QNT. QNT is a utility token required for accessing overledger services, including paying licensing fees and facilitating transactions. As the Sandbox attracts more users, whether developers testing prototypes or institutions exploring interoperability solutions, demand for QNT could rise. This is especially true if Sandbox testing leads to broader adoption of SATP in live environments. Historically, QNT's price has reacted positively to ecosystem milestones. For instance, its all-time high of 428.40 pounds in September 2021 coincided with heightened interest in interoperability and institutional partnerships. The Sandbox could spark similar enthusiasm if it gains traction. Speculative upside. Crypto markets often price in future potential. The SATP Sandbox, combined with Quant's ongoing projects, e.g. Project Rosalind, UK Finance RLN, Oracle DA platform, could fuel bullish sentiment among investors. Posts on X suggest that some see these developments as monumental, potentially driving speculative buying pressure. However, QNT's relatively low circulating supply, 12 million out of a max 14.6 million, means that increased demand could amplify price volatility, both upward and downward. Long-term value proposition. If SATP becomes a widely adopted standard, Quant's early mover advantage could position it as a foundational player in the blockchain economy, akin to how early internet protocols shaped tech giants. This long-term narrative might attract hodlers and institutional investors, supporting a gradual price uptrend. That said, the token's price won't rise in isolation. Adoption rates, regulatory clarity around digital assets, and broader crypto market conditions will play significant roles. Risks and uncertainties. While the sandbox is promising, its immediate impact on price may be muted if adoption remains in the testing phase. Crypto markets can be impatient, and without concrete announcements, e.g., major partnerships or live SATP deployments, momentum could stall. QNT's price has fluctuated significantly in the past, from $1 in 2018 to over $428 in 2021, then down to $50 in 2022, reflecting sensitivity to hype cycles and bear markets. External factors like macroeconomic conditions or a crypto-wide downturn could overshadow the sandbox's positive implications. Conclusion. The SATP Sandbox is a pivotal step for Quant, enhancing its overledger platform and reinforcing its leadership in blockchain interoperability. Its significance lies in enabling risk-free experimentation with secure asset transfers, promoting the SATP standard, and potentially driving institutional adoption. For QNT's price action, the sandbox could catalyze short-term speculative gains if market sentiment aligns, while laying the groundwork for sustained long-term growth as adoption scales.
All right. So with that said, Channing, the way I look at it is, a lot of other particular projects out there have public blockchains, let's face it. And with that also said, you got to keep in mind that with Quant Network, you're getting access like a gateway to everything there is out there. QNT token seems as though it will be used obviously through API everything. That moving forward, we should see significant price action, not just the whole thing of SATP, but that was a great example as shown by Daniel, the AI assistant. Your thoughts?
Most definitely. The sandbox that is now deployed and being worked in and built inside of, as these players come into the sandbox and they actually see that the processes or whatever they're trying to get out of Web3 can actually be utilized and actually realized through Overledger, then I would think that it's a no-brainer that it would transition into actual real-world adoption and utilization of Overledger, which would in turn spike the price of QNT, because every single smart contract that's sent through Overledger, all the transactions that's sent through Overledger, they all lock QNT in place. That is how the network is secure. So that means that there's going to be a tremendous amount of demand for the QNT token with a very, very finite supply. We're talking 12.8 in, I think it's 12.6, 12.8 in actual circulation, and 14 point whatever in total existence. the future potential of the utilization of this technology and what that's going to mean for driving value of the asset that powers the network, the sky's the limit. Like, people don't understand exactly what overledger is and how QNT ties into it, so they don't see the value of QNT. But for those who understand, that's why they're accumulating, because they see potentially where the future is going to be, and it's extremely bright. But I kick it back over to you, brother.
All right. Well, thank you for your analysis in regards to that. And the way I look at it is, there's so many examples that were shown in that regard. I mean, we've talked about things like hyperledger, for example. Like, you can't really technically own a hyperledger coin or token. So in the future, I'm going to give you guys another thing from Daniel with some visualizations, and it's the concept of, like I was talking about on the live show the other night. We were talking about stronghold, for example. That's like a castle. Well, inside a castle, there's many different gates and so on. Just think about this. And it's like, each gate will open, it won't be just a chink, 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 chink up. But if anything, they will slam all the way open, lifting up each and every gate inside that particular castle. Well, that's just one castle, but multiple castles, multiple gates worldwide. Every single one of those gates, for interoperability, you need to have at least a little bit of QNT to do that. When we think about the concepts of BTC, well, look where it's at. Again, what Channing was talking about, finite supply, a limited supply. That's 21 million. Of course, QNT is significantly lower compared to that. But the point is that most people don't own a full BTC. You have little slivers and whatnot, right? So moving forward, it's like, well, yeah, some institutions obviously are getting behind BTC. Clearly, we know that MicroStrategy and what Kathy Wood has going on with her company, and you even have BlackRock own quite a bit of BTC. Heck, even the U.S. government owns quite a bit of BTC. But my point is, moving forward, when you compare the two, BTC to QNT, QNT has to take the cake when it comes to this, because this actually has way more utility use case moving forward. I mean, if anything, hundreds of blockchains, thousands of use cases, and in every example that we've seen, whether it's on Make integration, whether it's Zapier, even Pipedream, when we look at the actual smart contracts, we see that a little bit of QNT is used for every single example. You start multiplying that by tens of millions, who knows, maybe even billions of people in the future, because it connects the world on this thing called the new internet. Think about that. Don't overthink about that. Your closing thoughts, Mr. Cheniero.
Yes, brother. So you have to remember that SATP is a internet protocol, which means that if it is a wide standard, it is if it's hold on one more time. You have to remember, brother, that SATP is a internet protocol. It is a standard, and if that standard is widely adopted, that means that when you are sending value through via the internet, they will have no choice but to utilize the standard. Just like you have no choice but to type in www when you get ready to go to a website. Well, before the era of Google, now you just go to the website. But anyway, it still has a www in front of it because that is the standard. That is the thing that makes it operable. That is the thing that actually makes the whole universe tie into one internet. And that's what potentially, if SATP is adopted, that's what that's going to mean for overledger. They won't have a choice but to utilize overledger because it is attached to a standard, and not just one standard, but multiple standards. That's the crazy part about it. If it was just one standard, like, okay, that's a standard, but you have multiple standards: the ISO, the IETF, NAPA, and I'm sure it's more that I'm not even talking about right now. So That's my closing thoughts on that, brother. That if it's a standard, that means that you have no choice but to utilize the standard. And if that standard is being utilized, that is extreme utility in motion. Something like you said, millions of transactions flowing through that particular standard. I would say daily, but it even could potentially be a minute. Who knows, as far as with the adoption of Web3 and these big corporations, big businesses, central banks, commercial banks, and all the multinational corporations in the world tapping into the standard, who knows how many transactions that's going to be flowing through something like a internet protocol standard. But I can get back over to you, brother.
That's our video for today. We just wanted to get into some of these key findings in regards to SATP, Quant's Secure Asset Transfer Protocol Sandbox, and why it was significant, especially when it comes to Q&T price action moving forward. If you appreciate the videos, we just kindly ask you to like, comment, and consider subscribing. And if you listen to the entire video, simply type in this key term into the comments, and that is price action. And we'll know that you listened to the entire outline. On behalf of myself and Channing Harrell, aka King Channing, know what you have, know why you hold it. The research trumps FUD 110%. We will see you on the next one.